Hey everybody, it's Thursday.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Night Bite.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Emily. And we're laughing because we just had maybe our first computer glitch in doing this, that we thought that we had already gone live and then we weren't. So we just watched our intro twice and all of that. So hopefully you guys are not seeing that same glitch that we just saw as well. So with that, thanks for joining us tonight. Getting back on track here a little bit. If you have, comments and questions along the way, definitely come and drop that in the comment section because we would love to talk about that as well.
Yep.
Otherwise, how has fishing by us been?
Fishing's been great. Like we said on our Tuesday night show for Striker, it's just been straight up summertime fishing. There's some nice fish out deep. There's a bunch of fish up shallow, and they're all hungry.
The one thing that did change from last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago, to last weekend was we had been previously talking about, it was the time of the year where bigger baits did mean bigger fish. But last weekend, it wasn't necessarily about that upsizing.
No, not too much. I mean, it was kind of middle of the road. I think it was, just different types of plastics seem to catch different types of fish. So that means they're feeding on different things. And then you were catching, a few different fish on the same plastic. So it was, they're just hungry.
And one of the plastics that we were using was something that was kind of a leech shape. So you're talking about the different things that fish are eating. And so often we're talking about bugs and minnows. But don't forget about the other things that are out there, because it's also the time of the year where, bass especially are eating things like crayfish. So take a look around. What is that forage in that system? Can you find any of it by the shores? And, that's often one of the ways that can guide your fishing the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
Cool. So if anybody at home has a fishing report to share, come on and drop that in the box. Love to hear where you're at and kind of how fishing is going. But other than that, let's kind of jump to our guest here and see how fishing is going for him. So,
all right,
Pat Kalmerton, thanks for being on.
Hello. How are we?
Doing awesome. So, Pat, we talked to you last kind of in winter, kind of the end of ice season. But I guess before we get to fish talk, if there's anybody who doesn't know you, can you tell us about yourself?
Absolutely. So I born and raised here in Wisconsin. I kind of cut my teeth over in the Sheboygan area. I was doing a lot of trout and salmon fishing and bebopping around up on the Bay of Green Bay, Lake Winnebago, kind of all over the state. And then kind of transplant down to the southwest part of the state. So I do a lot of stuff on the river systems. I do a lot of stuff on the inland lakes over here, as well as traveling all over the country, doing promotional work for different sponsors that, talking about the product that I use and the different avenues and venues. And, it's amazing. I kind of became the promotional voice of a lot of different sponsors, along with all the other pro staff. The promotional staff. That's a lot of people kind of forget the real definition of pro staff is promotional staff. So I prefer talking about the product that I use, how I use it. That way, somebody that's, nowadays everybody's working more than 40 hours. It's one of them where everybody is constantly on the move, always on the go. And if I can help or point somebody to a product or a technique that I or some of our team over at Wolfpack Adventures have been using and utilizing and help you put more fish in the boat, by all means, we are definitely all about it, So I'm, like tonight, we have a big event coming up. It's Sarbacher Wrestling Academy. It's their fundraiser, which is a organization that does a lot of technique training and training for the wrestling, which my son Max Mailer is very heavy into. He also wrestles up at Michigan right now. But this is kind of their fundraiser. You're going to see a lot of kids come in and out and bother me. I just had a couple of kids yanking on it was almost like I was fighting a fish, they're yanking on the tips of their rods going, what is this? And, all that other good stuff. So we're a constant, you know. I know supper's getting started, Finley. So I'm getting yelled at because you know we're hungry, but there's plenty of adults standing around drinking beer right now. That I think we're gonna start throwing some fish in the shore lunch and start eating and all that other good stuff. But I'm not needed for that, so this is a perfect. It gets me out of, it gets me out of work. It gets me talking to you guys. It's a great thing. And it's great.
You let us know when that fish is done, and we'll conveniently end that episode.
I'm telling you what, when the fish is done, you guys are going to go over and almost taste it through the screen. It's
Yeah.
and everything else. So no, but as far as what I do, you know, we have a couple of salmon boats out of the port of Sheboygan, trout and salmon. We do ice fishing down out of the Milwaukee area. We ice fish all over the state of Wisconsin. I travel all over with sponsors doing different promotional work and different shows all over the country. We have boats up on Green Bay for walleyes. We have boats over at Lake Winnebago and some inland boats. We have other boats that you know bobber down fish you on. You know, we'll go out and we'll bobber fish with you if you want to. So we do all that. 1 second, hon. So we do all of that. We also we get into you know, fly fishing. We do a lot of fly fishing, tributaries to Lake Michigan, so Pigeon River, Sheboygan River, and we can either center pin float fish, or we can do a spin cast. We can do regular fly fishing. You know, so the opportunities are endless. We have a resource here in Wisconsin. It's never ending. So you can chase muskies 1 second, you can go bluegills the next second on the same body of water. Just the location might be a little different, or sometimes within those reeds, location very well may be the same. You know, so I'm going to show you a box here, you know, for different different waterways, and sometimes you have to take an arsenal for a lot of different techniques. So let's say on Thursday, I was just up on the Bay of Green Bay fishing, and we were pitching hair jigs, and then we ended up starting to you know cast shiver minnows, and then we started trolling crawler harnesses and spinning glows, and then we went over to the cranks, and I brought a array of lures that I even had some of the great big, you know, the Northland just came out with great big rumbler, you know, the rumbler shad, and those I started trolling those for muskies. So in one day on one body of water, I targeted 4 or 5 different techniques for fishing on that body of water, all within a quarter mile of each other. But yet one box held everything I needed for that day. So I didn't have my boat. I was invited along. I got to get in that boat, and I had everything along that I needed. So that was really awesome.
So that's an amazing thing. And I hope that I know where you're going with this, you know, but you know, most people try to imagine, first of all, doing that much fishing in one day. You know, that's a massive amount of, you know, techniques and switching and, you know, kind of go in between more than what most people do in a day. But to have all of that tackle with you, the different options that you need to be successful in those situations. So how do you carry that much with you in a day?
Well, it's very easy. I'm going to actually switch you around if I can figure out. I'm just going to do it this way. Here we are. That's the whole crew. I mean, you got, like I said, we're out camping and we're getting ready for this event and stuff, and people rolling in and dogs and everything else. But I'm going to do this right here, Lakewood Products, which is a oh, there we got her. Lakewood Products, which is a new case. I got to figure out how to work this. But inside, you open that bad boy up, and you have a ton of different storage. So here's my crawler harnesses, my hammer time blades. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I got my hammer time blades. I got my different spinning glows right here. You know, once we start getting into more, I got more spinning glows and different things there.
Nice.
You get rid of that. Now I got my jigging. So I got all my CPT tackle right there that I can do my jigging. We were slip bobbering some. Right here is all my components. So if I'm switching around, I got all my components there. So I got spinning glows, I got spinners, I got different hooks, I got all of that sort. Now I get into my, you know, different lures that I troll with. I'm just trying to figure this out. Yep, gotta go that way, I guess. I guess everything is camera left on it. So you got that, and then you get into the fat fish. If I want a little fatter presentation, I got, next one up is going to be, your mag lips, so they have a little faster vibration. You can run a lot of different things that way. And then you get into some of the other ones. So here I got my deep diving. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So there's all my cranks, and then you get out of your cranks, and I got a whole array. I think you can see that. I got all the different colors, all the different colors, and all the different. So right there, I probably have, I would say, 50, 60, even more lures than that, just in that one box. Then I get into my musky stuff. So here's my musky lures on my other side of the box, and that sits right here. More musky baits right here. So this Lakewood, the Lakewood case that I am using right there, it has all the different things that I need out of one day. But yet on the sides, you also have your storage. So now I got my bottom bouncers over here. So the bottom bouncers that I like to use are right here. It's I think I'm good right there. So these are the bottom walkers, which have a spin and glow. Has a little extra vibration when you're bouncing bottom like that. I go anywhere from 1 ounce all the way up to 3 ounces on that. Go to the other side. Now on the other side, of course, I have all my different lines. I have all my different all the different lines. So if I am trolling, I want 8 pound. If I go to 20 pound, I got all my different lines to be able to do that effectively. That I'm ready to set, ready to rock. These boxes. What the other nice thing about these boxes is you can throw them on the floor. You can step on them when you're netting fish. They will withhold your weight and everything else. So that right there it's an awesome box. And then you get into, on the other side, you can look at in here. If it's real hot and sunny, you got your UPF gear, you got your gloves. That way I'm not taking, I'm not taking a bunch of sunscreen, putting it on my hands, getting everything all over my hands for the smell, the sheen, all that other stuff. So I like, obviously there's a lot of different UPF gear out there. Of course, I wear the Blackfish gear. It's one of them things where they have neck gaiters, they have the gloves. I keep that sun off of me. It's a beautiful thing. But that same day, right there, we ended up taking, everybody knows rocket bobbers for panfish and everything else. So what we ended up doing there is I was casting shiver minnows and the trolling motor died. I'm not gonna lie, I was in a boat. They're not rigged. Trolling motor died. So we decided the wind died down. We were gonna slip bobber them. And what is nice about these bobbers right here, if I come close, there's 2 different settings. There we go. There's
there we go.
settings up on top. So you have your standard, then you have your slip bobber by just rotating this end. So you could just rotate that end and put it on your line, because I always have a real little rubber stop up there that never gets in the way. I don't have to have a slip bobber on my line at all times, and that there allows this to slip up and down. So all we were doing is taking the crawlers or the leeches that we were trolling with, putting them on our, I personally was using a gold right here. I was using the gold
still on there, yeah.
PPT jig. There we go. With just one little red bead up on top, hanging a night crawler, and we were slip bobbering and catching fish on the reefs, on the rock reefs up out of Volcano. So that's what we were doing there. Man, there's just so many different options and possibilities when you start getting into the new product and the new gear that you have to work with in the industry now. There's so much versatility that you don't get out in the boat and you're stuck with one bobber. And now anytime that I change, I either have to retie everything or go that direction. So that's one thing that really helped me. That box right there, it is a godsend. If you're the soft-sided hard cases, if you got an opportunity, just go to their website, check it out. Here's another one that I
Okay, Pat,
use a lot.
I gotta jump in really quick here because I feel like I gotta tell people just really quick. So we keep talking about your Lakewood box, and I do also love Lakewood boxes. The one that you have, in case people are interested, it's the Sidekick. So if you are going to the Lakewood website, that is the name of the box. So you are able to find that super easy. And I want to highlight something that you said just really quick. It is a case that, you know, if you're a kayak fisherman, if you have a boat, if you know, wherever it is, you had mentioned that it's a case that you can stand on. And really, all of those Lakewood boxes are Lakewood tough is what they call it, because each of those boxes are strong enough to be stood on. You know, they will withstand, you know, all that you can throw it as an angler. But that Sidekick in particular, you really can use it even as an extra casting deck. You know, you want to get up a little higher, get that vantage point. And that's something. So you're showing all the tackle that you can store in it, all the fabulous things, and the fact that you did it all one-handed. So like that was pretty awesome. You know that you can go through a whole case.
Finley, who's walking past, was supposed to hold the camera, but she's playing kickball with the other kids down there. I'm kind of stuck doing this, you know, solo-handed. I apologize.
No, it was super impressive though. So that was awesome. And I got to say also, you're talking about that rocket bobber. Man, you were able to spin that around again, one-handed. So that was great.
These rocket bobbers, I'm telling you what, you take this thing off and you can switch it from the beauty about the rocket bobber. Okay, so let me get into this a little bit. You know, you're talking about the versatility and everything else. So this is actually the walleye, you know, the bigger rocket bobber. There are 3 different sizes. They come in, oh man, you can get all yellow, you can get all orange, you can get yellow and orange, you can get glow in the dark, you can get pink, you know, you can get whatever color in the 3 sizes. So you have a mini panfish, you have the regular panfish, and then the walleye bobber or the bigger bobber. Okay. So the beauty about this is, let's say I'm fishing real shallow weeds, and I know that I'm only going to be 1 or 2 feet down. I can take it, put it on the standard, and now I have a stationary bobber that doesn't slip at all. It is stuck in one position. So the minute that bobber hits the water, it's not going to move. And depending on what you're fishing. So a lot of times what I'll do on that is I'll either take like a fly, you know, a fly jig or something that has 0 weight, and just let it slowly sink down, just like a bug is landing on the water, and those bluegills will come up and pick at it. Or if I'm going to be fishing a little deeper, all I have to do is take this, spin it around to the other side, and now I have a slip bobber, and it will go up and down my line however deep until it hits a stop. So it will sit just like this, and once you have weight, it'll pop up. If you have 0 weight, it'll sit like this, and then once you start getting bite on those real finicky fish, it'll just start switching in the water like that. So that's one thing about it. Then all of a sudden that fish will start taking off. It'll come straight up, and it'll start walking to the side a little bit, or it'll just plunge underwater. So these things are extremely nice about it. And then the reasoning behind the reasoning behind the colors is, this is an overcast day. If I take this and I show you against the weeds, you got your yellow that's sticking out a lot better. Now, if it was real bright and sunny, then I want to pick a all orange. You know, so there, of course, your glow in the dark is going to be for your night fishing. So there's a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different reasonings behind it. You know, in this weekend, I was just over on Minnetonka for the Blackfish Classic and doing a photo shoot. And I'll tell you what, it was amazing on how many rocket bobbers I seen on poles over there, because it's just that versatile for especially shore fishing. You know, if you're shore fishing, you're moving around and all that good stuff, you're going to want something that you can cast a long way, so they're a little heavier. But then down south, here's another fun fact that I didn't know until I started talking to Mark, is there's rattles in there. Now, up here in the Midwest, there's a lot of bobbers that don't have the rattles, but some of them certainly do have the rattles. So I thought they were kind of neat. And for this event, I grabbed the bucket of them for there's a little fishing tournament that's going on. It's a fish donkey fishing tournament that's going on Saturday. and anybody can register anywhere and fish anywhere or whatnot. You're missing out on the bobber. I'm not going to be able to give you a bobber if you fish out a different body of water. But if you're around here, you're going to hear me on the water. So track me down, and I'll get you a bobber too.
Well, and the other cool thing that is that not many people know about that bobber is the top of it is actually a toothpick. So if you don't know what the toothpick is, look up the Cold Snap Outdoors toothpick and get yourself one. If you don't have one yet, so that has a notch on the top, and when you're fishing for panfish, it makes it really easy to pop that jig out. If it gets stuck too far in there, you can just put the little notch on the hook, pop it out, and get your hook out.
Or if you got fat fingers like I do, you can really get it out of it.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
I'll go over there in a little bit.
So, you're talking about your Fish Donkey tournament. And so for people who don't know, maybe that is an online tournament. It's an app. And the app itself is free to download and free to use. Some of the tournaments are pay, some are not. That all really depends on the type of tournament and who's running it and all of that. So Pat, you're saying that anybody from anywhere can join your tournament?
Yes, anybody from anywhere could join the tournament. The one thing that it is a paid tournament. So, you got your first place bass and first place walleye and stringer of panfish. I think that's going to be blackfish only, or here on Black Hawk Lake. That's where we are. We're up camping on Black Hawk Lake. So I think that's going to be fun. Where, we got the whole lineup. Matter of fact, the kids are starting to play a little ball now, and they're going to be playing beanbags. I can smell the oil right now that is starting to fry. So we're going to go over there, and then I'm going to show you the myth, man, the legend barbecuer. Denny Linder. He's over at Badger Barbecue, and this guy has won competitions all over the place. So Saturday, when you guys are here, you're going to be able to enjoy some brisket, some barbecue. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I want. Oh, I'm hungry. Well, you're going to have to wait. Oh, yeah. Now they're even dragging her away from me. I love it. So, when you guys are here, we're going to show you some of the barbecue that Denny's going to be cooking up for us and enjoying that night. And I mean, it's just this whole Sarbacher thing. This club is more of a family. It's more of a get together with everybody. Like this weekend, everybody gets together, they all go camping. Here, I'm gonna turn you around. Kids are digging for toys right now. And here, I just, before I go over to the fishing and we start talking a little bit more, here's another one of the boxes that I use a lot. So you got your 4 trays right here. You got your spin fish. This one, here's all the Yakima, the Vibrick rooster tails. I got regular rooster tails. I got, different spinner baits and different spoons, everything of that sort. I got all my rooster tails. So if I end up getting into a crappie bite or bass bite up in the weeds, I have all that. Up on top, I have more components. I got, the different plastics. I got sunscreen, of course, for my kids if they decide, all of a sudden, it happens more than once where I'll be fishing and all I hear is a great big splash. And that ain't carp jumping behind me. It's certainly not. It's my kids jumping off. Here you're talking about cold snap. I got my toothpick along for my cold snap stuff. On the other side, I got more line and more things and more baits. These boxes, they just have so much storage and so much versatility that you can grab anything. So I'm just going to kind of spin you around here. Here's our camping outing. So I apologize that you're getting me, here, but my kids wanted to go camping. Come on now. I know that you're talking. Oh, we got fish. We're eating fish and drinking beer. Look at that.
Absolutely.
Huh? Eating fish and drinking beer. Now we're going to have to go over to Chef Boyardee over here, find out what's going on.
So what's the key to a good fish fry?
Well, we're going to have to ask the chef over here. We're going to have to ask the chef. I'm not that smart. Here we got fish going. Here we got her. There's another one going. Everybody's eating. We got fries. We got fish. A little frying magic. Hey, Chef Boyardee, tell us how we're doing this.
We're just breading it up, sticking it in, and dropping it in the fryer. Only way to make fish.
There you
Ah,
go. That's
perfect.
awesome.
Here comes the beverage cooler. Even better. I like it. We got the dogs hanging around. I'm sure they're going to get a piece or two of fish. So, what? Drink and some stuff for the kids, and we got the beanbag set up along the side. I mean, this is what it's about, though. A lot of times when you go fishing, with a group of people or whatnot, a lot of fish. Thing about fish is you can go to the store and buy a fish. It's camaraderie. It's a sport of fishing. It's the enjoyment that you get. It's a family. It's a family event, and not only that, but like my dad, when I was growing up, he always said there's only one Bill Schrader, Sheboygan County. So to go into professional sports and to do everything else, it's not not a normal thing. But if you become a part of the outdoors, if you hunt, if you fish, if you do anything else, that's a lifelong sport and a lifelong entertainment that you can enjoy forever. And now with the different products, let's say like Lakewood or like some of the products that we use, the Blackfish gear keeps us on the water longer without scorching ourselves. There's so many different products out there that allow us to enjoy the sport a lot more. Because in the guide world that we are in, there has been many a year, especially ice fishing or anything else, where I get people saying, "Oh, I go ice fishing and I froze." Well, now it's 100% different nowadays than it was, let's say, 40 years ago. We have the gear. We have. Oh my goodness, that one didn't have a straw. There we got her. That right there was a dad fail. I had a strawless juice box. There I failed again. I have all the chips and all the goodies for everybody at the fish fry. Man, I suck at this. Here, take this over.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, thank you. I'll take your litter. Thank you for not throwing it on the ground. Here. Oh, and there goes your throw. So yeah, so that's one thing that is really cool about it. Matter of fact, I was just talking beforehand. We have the RV and all that other good stuff, but there's just a kid or two that want to stay with me tonight. So there's our bed in the back of our saloon. I don't even have to set up a camper this weekend. I'm just sleeping straight on the couch. It's like a band down by the river. It's perfect. Take all that over there, awesome. And of course tonight, we got the chairs all set up for the s'mores, and we're going to be definitely eating some s'mores. It's not a camping trip without s'mores.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So that's what
we're
going on this weekend. If you're around the area, if you're down around Black Hawk Lake, stop in. Come play some beanbags, come out fishing with us, have a good time. That's what we're doing this weekend. Of course, I shouldn't say that's what I'm doing this weekend. Now the guys over they're going to be out on the salmon boats. They're going to be up on the bay walleye fishing. They're going to be working. I'm not working. I'm enjoying the weekend with my kids. I just got back and had a fantastic week over in on Minnetonka for the Blackfish Classic. Incredible event. So now it's time to relax a little bit.
And so if people are looking for information on the event this weekend, where do they find that?
I believe you can go to Sarbacher Wrestling Academy website page or their Facebook page. And you can go there and find it, or I think if you scroll through the Pat Kalmerton Outdoors page, I think I reposted it on there. I think. If not, I can. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know.
Well, and if anybody is here looking for it and cannot find it, let us know. Drop a comment here. We can always certainly get you the information. Mm-hmm. Because, the whole point is to raise money for a good cause. And, especially when it involves kids in the outdoors, we're there. So
yeah,
that's going to be awesome.
I'm excited that you guys are coming down and fishing and having a good time. So we're going to catch fish. I mean, this lake, they just shocked it for the DNR, and the locals are going to kill me, but the numbers are incredible. The walleye numbers are incredible. There's a good source of bluegills, crappies, panfish that are still going really well. Bass, there's a lot of big bass in this lake. There's a lot of big pike in this lake. It's a real small 300-acre lake. It's a no, there is no trolling or no wake on this lake. So you don't have to battle the jet skiing and all that stuff. So it's a very pleasurable day on the water. And there's a beach. So a lot of times I have to look around for my kids, but they're swimming in the beach or something.
That's awesome.
Again, I fail as a father once in a while when I start fishing. I'm kidding, Mom. I know where they are at all times.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are looking forward to the weekend a whole lot. Friday is definitely going to be a hard day to get through. But either way, looking forward to some fishing, looking forward to seeing you. So, thanks for being on to talk about all of it.
Most certainly. I appreciate you having me. And, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go over and indulge in some deliciousness of the fish that they got cooking and maybe even wash it down with a beer or two.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. And, see everybody on next week's edition of the Night Bite.
Night, everybody.
Thank you again.